Hi there and welcome to my channel Code with Tayyab. In today's video, I will show you how to deploy a Node.js application using CI/CD pipelines and GitHub Actions. So let's get started. Imagine you are working on some application and you want to deploy the application. So without CI/CD pipeline, what you need to do is you have to connect to your server using SSH client, and then you have to take a pull from GitHub or Bitbucket, and then you need to restart the server, and you just hope for it that everything works, because if there is some bug or some error, your user will see the crash before you. But if you deploy your application using CI/CD pipelines, there are a lot of benefits using this approach. The first one is we directly don't touch our web server. There is something called GitHub Actions pipeline. That is the thing which do all this stuff for us, like connecting with our web server, installing the dependencies, running the test cases, and if all the things are success, then it just deployed our new version to the server. And if there is some error or if there is some crash between this process, then this will not deploy the new version to the server. So if we see some benefits, there are automated testing, like all the test cases which we have written are run during this process, and there is consistent deployment, bug catch early, like in case of bug the deployment will not happen. In the case of without CI/CD pipelines, there is a lot of problems, like there is no automated testing, there are possible chance of human error. Before we move on to the next step, make sure you have AWS EC2 instance server running, and on your AWS EC2 instance you must have Node.js and PM2 installed. And for the reference, you can see video 1 and 2. On that videos I have already done these two topics. And you must have the GitHub repository, through which you will connect to our EC2 instance using a CI/CD pipeline. And also, when you create a EC2 instance, there is one EC2 key pair file which you have downloaded. That file must be in your local computer, through which you will connect to our EC2 machine. This is the Node.js project which we are going to use in this video. In this project, we just have simply two things. One is the Express.js server up and listening, and the other one is a simple get route. In this route, I'm just returning a JSON, and also we have one package.json file. In this file, I'm just starting a server using npm start, and in npm start I have just written this node index.js command which will run this index.js. Now let's set up the GitHub secrets. These are the secret variables which are used by GitHub Actions to connect with our EC2 machines securely. So to set up these GitHub secrets, I have just opened my GitHub repository, and I will click on this setting tab here, and then click over there, secrets and variables. And here I just need to set up four variables. Variable will be EC2 host. So the EC2 host will be our host public IP. You can find this IP over there on your instances. Click on instance ID, and here you will find the public IP address. You just need to copy this IP and then add over there. Add secret, and the second one will be your project path, and the third one will be your EC2 username, and the fourth will be your EC2 SSH key. So you can find your SSH key in your downloads folder. While you are creating your instance, you have downloaded the PEM key, that is the same EC2 SSH key. So I will add these one by one. And the fourth key will be your SSH key. So I will add my SSH key over there. Okay, now I have created all the environment variables in my GitHub. So these variables help GitHub to connect with my EC2 server securely. Now the next part is creating the GitHub workflows. Okay, now the next step will be creating the workflow configurations in our root directory. So whenever someone push the code, the workflow will automatically trigger. So to make it work, we need to create one folder .github, and inside this folder we need to create another folder workflows, and inside this we need to write a configuration file .build.yml file. So this is the file which hold all the configuration on which basis the pipelines will be triggered. Okay, so in this step we need to write the configuration for our build, like the YML configuration. So to write configuration, I am going to use the ChatGPT tool. Since we don't need to remember all this stuff, we can just simply give the prompt to ChatGPT and it will automatically generate the configuration for us. So I'll just open the ChatGPT here and I will write this prompt. I will simply copy this and paste it in my build.yml file, and now I will explain it to you. Believe we are deploying Node.js application, so the name will be deploy Node.js to the EC2, and the second thing will be on which branch change we need to trigger this workflow. So simply we write the master since we only have one branch, and the second thing will be runs on Ubuntu, like the machine. So this thing is the internal GitHub workflow thing, so leave this thing. And the third thing is the check out the repository code. So this is also the GitHub internal thing, like when they connect with our EC2, they do some internal stuff before that, and this is the thing where we are connecting with our EC2. And here I am writing all that secret variables which I have created just earlier, and here the script thing. If you can see here, I am just writing the cd path name where exactly my project is located, and then I am just writing these commands git pull and then installing npm packages. So what I am going to do is I will push this code git add dot and then git commit edit the ci/cd pipelines and the git push origin master. So this have pushed my code successfully. I will open the GitHub here. I'll open the github.com, open my repository, and here you can see this action tab. I will click over there and you can see the action have been started. Now I will wait for it. So you can see the pipeline have been deployed successfully. Now I will try to open my IP, public IP, so that I can access the URL. So I'll open this, or I can just simply copy this here, paste it like this, and wait for it if it's work or not. Okay, seems like some issue might be with our code. Let me check my code if I'm creating server correctly or not. Okay, so the issue is with this. We are just passing this local host here. This will not work in this case, since also I will remove this from here. Server is running on only port. Now I will push this code again. Git add dot and push to the master branch, and then let's wait again for this deployment to be complete. So deployment have been completed. Again try to open this, and I will also write the port number through which I can access. So you can see, so the deployment have been completed completed successfully through CI/CD pipeline. So now I will change this a little bit. Again push the code and then I will see if it works or not. Again our deployment will be run, since on each code push the automatically trigger will be happen. So now let's wait for it to be complete. Okay, so it's completed. Now I will again refresh this page and you can see we can see our new changes here.